Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Hi, how is everybody doing? And today, as you see, my desk camera is on and paper is here. So yeah, it's time to do some traditional art. And in lieu of these recent events, I decided to ink two of my old artworks or sketches from 2018 because they are fitting everything that is they are fitting the things that happened lately the best. Like, first thing, my friend Sam, she's amazing, and she did her own prompt challenge a long time ago, like it was like 2016 or something, and I sketched everything for this prompt, but I have not fulfilled this. But yeah, this whole sketchbook, this is my first completed sketchbook. It has lots of sketches. Half of it, if not most of it, it's finished. But I am, I like going back to my old sketches and finishing them, taking this off from the whip list, So, because Sam was doing palette swap challenge, where she swapped the color schemes of main characters, and I also did this digitally with one of the pictures of Addie and Nest, which are the characters from my comics, from my comic. I did this digitally with an old artwork, like it was like in April, like artwork from April with them. And yeah, and the result is super cursed. Oh my god! Like, on one hand, like I am uncomfortable looking at them in this color scheme. Like, they are like absolutely different characters for me. And on the other hand, it felt like comforting to know that my original color scheme for them works for me. Like, I feel like all right with this, and I think like most of my readers would also feel like cool, like they feel fine with this. So yeah, but this reminded me of a prompt that Sam did. Sam even did not remember it. Sam even herself did not remember writing this prompt, and I'm like, girl, you wrote a prompt about swapping a color scheme between the hero and the villain for her prompt challenge. And she was like, oh my god, I really did. So this is inked picture of that. So today I will color Eddie, but in the color scheme of Victor, who is her ex. This will be like very strange. This will be the first time I will see Eddie in blonde. And Bartek will be in color scheme of his twin brother Hubert, which will not be like a big change because most of his coloring will be the same. The biggest change will be in the outfits. This I am for sure. So yeah, and the other picture is, well, the site, the webcomic, Polish webcomic hosting site, webcomics.pl, webcomics.pl, is freaking closing. Like, the site is working even worse, like day by day. Like, there was like a day where it was like error 404, like 2 weeks before the deadline. The deadline is November 1st, which is All Saints Day, which is super fitting, given the graves and, and remembering the dead and stuff, and the site is dying at this day. Like, oh my god. So not only like the site went 404 for a moment, the owner was like, oh yeah, I have to keep the site up because I promised I will keep the site up till November 1st. He changed something and it rolled back a couple days rolled back a version a couple days before. It removed all of my subscribers, so good thing I took a screenshot of how many subscribers I had here, like just to remember that, oh my god, I did this like in 4 years. That someone in the Polish site was reading my comic. But also it removed my avatar. It removed my authorship. Like me as a user. Right now, I am not connected to my comics. Like my comics, when you click at the author of my comics, it goes to like user dash 000122223333, just something, you know, like a random mashup of like clearly something placeholder, clearly something freaking broke in the meantime, and also it deleted like some people's chapters episodes that they put up shortly before the site malfunctioned. So a lot of people, including me, posted like farewell messages and their links and everything. You know, where to find me, where to find my comic, where to connect with me, you know, stuff like this. And yeah, and it's gone. So and I even cannot access this as an author to put it again, which is freaking amazing. Like, I really hope that right now at this point, everybody who had seen the announcement of me moving with the Polish version to Namikomi, which, by the way, oh my god, it was like my comic was among some. I will say it again. My comic was among some for the weekly editor's peak, and I was so like, oh my god, like I am just like, I think no, I just put out episode 17, which is like the beginning, like the second episode of chapter 3. Like we are nearing chapter 4, nearing the end of chapter 4 right now. As I looked in my spreadsheet and counted things, did some tallying, I am 3/4 done with chapter 4, with posting chapter 4. So yeah, it will take a bit, but I hope be that before the 6th anniversary of Never Too Late, I will be done with chapter 4, and I will be preparing volume 1 with 4 chapters and a bonus comic. I will prepare it to print. Yeah. So yeah. So in lieu of all of that, I remember that I had a picture of my OCs, Nest and Eddie, digging a grave, and this was a very old concept, like back in 2018, where I thought that they will have a massive falling out, like they would like argue with each other and they would be mad at each other for a very long time, but after some time, like it's not sitting right with me. It was very out of character, especially for Nest, and so I'm thinking like this is like an event that would happen like way past Never Too Late, when it comes to way past Never Too Late. You know, considering the time frame of Never Too Late. Like I planned this to happen like 2 years after Never Too Late. After Never Too Late's ending in canon, in the comic timeline. But I am like not super like right now in 2025. I'm not super about this, but the sketch was done. I really liked the poses that I gave them, like the symbolism, like there was a song attached to this, because of course it was. But I was not vibing with them quarreling anymore. But the news of the site closing And like the idea arose to actually have our characters like react to this in some sort. And at the end, I remembered about this sketch, and I'm like, well, I might use it for that, you know. So yeah, so we are coloring this. The color scheme for this, gray and brown. And in post, I will add a little bit of like color grading here and there to like to bring up the sides, the sides color scheme. But yeah, mostly brown, black, gray. Yeah. So tools. My favorite angled Citadel brush. Oh yeah, Citadel XL base brush. My favorite brush. Since I bought this brush like in 2000. Oh my god, this brush is probably also from 2018 or 2019. Yeah, I love this brush. I will be using this again. Watercolors. I have my palette of watercolors, very crusty watercolors mixed with gouache. I'm still going to use it for this sketchbook. For this sketchbook and next sketchbook, and every time I need like some muddy colors for the watercolors, because this is like this is the grunge I'm living for. And the water today is I bought an antique inkwell with 2 glass inserts, and it fits amazing for watercolor, because if you ever not you ever because some time ago I was watching watercolors tips and tricks and stuff, and people there say that to have 2 containers with water to dip in one container, in the other container, and then in paint. Especially when cleaning the brush between the colors, and it is because the one container of the water will be much cleaner afterwards. This is like a double cleaning method, and one of the container will be much cleaner. So you only go and change one container instead of going with your only one container back and forth, which is important because the muddy water in your container can transfer the pigment from the water into your watercolors and make them even more muddy. So when I bought this antique inkwell, I was thinking of using this exactly this way, to have a very nice aesthetic place to put my brush down. There's an indent for the dip pen, but it works as a brush holder too. And yeah. So yeah, enough talking. What I was also doing previously, I finally got to get the yarn and glue the yarn all around in this nicer pattern all around the spider that I'm doing for my sis. If you remember, it was a couple months ago I started this project. I tried to first wrap the styrofoam molds, styrofoam sphere and styrofoam egg, in lavender felt. It did not end well, so in order to hide the imperfection, I got some Uhu glue and yarn in a very similar color, and I wrapped this around in this spiral fashion, and I think it looks cleaner. It looks cleaner, it looks more aesthetic, it looks more finished. Yeah, and it may look like it was crochet, but no. I am telling myself to not go into knitting and crocheting. I need to draw a line somewhere when it comes to the amount of hobbies and crafts I have. Alright? So yeah, so let's start. Here I want to shape with gray and black instead of my usual purple. So yeah, so I have some Payne's gray in here, and I think I will start with this one. This ink was already like on the page for a couple of days, so it already had time to, you know, to fully dry and not bleed when I will introduce moisture to it. So yeah, so I like starting with the base color that I use for my shading, and like do the values first. Like for example, with the same color, I will tint. You know, they will be wearing black, so I will tint their clothes, for example. So when I will put like any other color, the tint of the of this slightly, this is like Payne's gray, is slightly bluish hue, has slightly bluish like hue. I like it personally. I wish there was a color called, I don't know, Nina's gray, which would be like this purple gray color that I use for shading. It would be so easy for me to mix this color. But oh, this is how I would do pictures back in like 2018, 2019. More so 2018, but also 2017. Oh yeah, I forgot that this sketchbook is like from, I started this sketchbook in 2016. Because I was already like in my last year of bachelor's degree, and I wanted to come back to drawing, like for real, like really commit to this, like no on and off, like I would do like in high school or in middle school, like truly commit to this, actually like go to classes like for adults and stuff. What is this? Strange. A bit of plastic. Let me put it aside to toss it. Yeah, to really commit to this and actually like learn how to draw properly, how to, you know, have a style on my own, to finally start like doing stuff with my characters, because I was like neglecting my characters for so long up to this point. So yeah. But yeah, but this is how I would do things like in 2017, 18, and onwards with a lot of my watercolor pictures, especially watercolor pictures that I have like in this like sketchbook, or when I did the traditional where I did the first version of Second Chance, my first comic. Speaking of which, I am curious because I put a poll in my in one of the servers I have with one of the servers I have with my friends, and I am curious because I am debating whether or not to put second chance the whether or not to put the second chance traditionally, to forget for a moment about the digital remake and put the reminder of second chance on Webtoons and Namikomi, which will be like the end of the story for for mark the end of the story. So the people who are not reading on Tapas on DeviantArt will get to know the end of the story and like see a little bit of the old art. And I think this comes from me wanting to finish second chance, like really, like I am really like not super really close. I will need to see in my spreadsheet at how much of the percent for second chance is like remade digitally. I think like I am also like at around like 2/3 done or something like this, but like I kinda lost in for that redraw, and I want to share that, hey people, like second chance actually is there, it's finished, you can read it in its entirety, but not in this state. So I am toying with this idea to actually put second chance like on Namikomi, both versions, Polish English, and on Webtoons in English. I worry, and I might prepare like a special like introductory Do you see the bleeding? Wait, I try to remember which. Oh my god. I must have used a different pen than usually. Like, I use my Rabidograph for the finer lines, but for the thicker lines I used a different pen. I didn't know it reacts like this. Oh shit. Well. I will try and... But after I color it, I will try and fix it with white gouache. Especially around like elements that I plan to be left like lighter, like these fingers here. But oh my god, I was not expecting this pen to behave like this. Especially considering that it was like a pen that was gliding really well and was really dark. And I really like it to ink pictures, but now I see that I should ink pictures that I don't plan to use wet media on. And yeah, I need to remember that. I need to remember, you know what, let me check quickly if I can recognize if I use this. I probably use this on this artwork too. Proper! I mean, it can be a happy accident, to have like the frayed edges, but oh. Not happy about this. Might not be a happy accident in this case. Okay, a little bit of stippling to just add a little bit of texture to the ground. So yeah, this is like definitely a bummer. I was hoping for a different outcome. And also, I don't know why, like, this was black ink. Why it's bleeding in blue? I don't understand, like, did they mix, like, a different, like, pigments to make this black, and blue just happens to be the least, like, water resistant? And I wanted to give an homage to my, like, style, and because I like this style, okay? I like this texture that is here. I'm super not happy about this. Like, where is my... I will bring one of my finer brushes. Yeah. And a big tube of white gouache. Just to remedy this thing. But this will be for later. Like, oh my god. What I've done. I don't remember the lyrics. I'm sorry. Now I'm scared of going with this brush. Let me actually take the small brush. Let me actually take a small brush. I will pick a different one. This is a bit too small. This one is too... Oh my god, what the heck happened to you? You're all like crusty. I will probably use this brush for glue. Where is my other brush? I had one brush in here, like yesterday. I had my favorite trusty brush here, and I don't see it. Strange. Okay, I will use this one. This is like nail art brush, but for details, when you're on a budget, it works well. So I will try to do this, to not go like absolutely ham, and go kinda around to not glaze the whole like hair and head with it, but just be a little bit more mindful of it, if any like. Okay, let me add a little bit of shading. start shading the characters, start, putting in some details. And yes, I know this wash will not be absolutely smooth. I am fully aware of that. But I think the texture and the unevenness, I think it will be good for this picture. To really make it like grungy, dirty, like dilapidated, abandoned. To give this feeling that, yep, it's like kind of like apocalypse. Where everything like is grungy and not cleaned because we have other like priorities. I will come back with white gouache afterwards because white gouache has this wonderful like property that it's opaque. And usually when I do like a little mishap, like a color bleeding somewhere, like I will use white gouache to remedy that. So hoping it will work and aid me this time too. With at least a little bit. And I just realized I wanted a calm watercolor stream. A calm stream where I just, pick some colors. Watercolors are supposed to be like calm, like, satisfying and stuff, but so far it's been nothing but satisfying, and I promise, I did not set it up. I absolutely did not set it up like to be like this. Like, no. Like, why would I like make myself in pain like that? Like, set myself to a failure like that. Like, come on. Oh my god, now Eddie will be difficult, especially here. I wanted her, her blouse to have see-through, like, to have see-through sleeves. do I have? Of course, I don't have any paper towel if I need, when I need to. Oh, I think this will be the gouache galore. This picture. I can already like see it and imagine it. Like the thinner lines made with different ink, they're fine. But something must have been so wrong with the ink in that particular pen. Like, I need to leave this pen at work and never ever think of inking anything that will require me using wet media afterwards ever again. Because this is not fun. This is me trying to fight for the picture. Let me get some brown. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm negative right now. Because I think everything is ruined. Maybe it will turn into like a happy accident. I have no idea. Also, everybody, new Never Too Late page is up. Page 50 of chapter 4. Finally! What I can also put in brown, I think I can tint the bottom of his pants like brown, as if, you know, he was walking through this mud. Same with the shovel, make it all like dirty. Same on Eddie. I'm mixing a bit of brown with my Payne's Grey to have slightly desaturated brown that I used right now for Ernest's hair. Because yes, Ernest's hair are actually very deep shade of brown. But I know on various devices his hair look black, which I don't mind because his hair were black, like in the previous, like in some of the previous like iterations of the character design. But I decided for dark brown because there is also other character, Bartek, who has black hair, and I don't want them, like two of the characters to have like the same absolute shade of hair color. I don't vibe with this, so yeah. Just hope that the bleeding like stops, and this is like the most like damage done to this picture, meaning that I just hope that with any new layer that I will put, for example for Eddie's hair or something like this, there will be any like new bleeding like reactivated. Unfortunately, I will need to go back to broader brush because I need to use the same brown. Here to tint the ground. I will try to not touch the characters or these thick lines to avoid even more bleeding. I wanted to have a gradient from gray closer to the brown and closer to the ground. But as I always say, worst case scenario, I will just whip out gouache and just paint over everything with gouache or acrylics. Like, it will cover everything. I might swap back soon to the small brush. Yes, I need to be mindful about especially this place right now because I see paper flaking. If it wasn't for the fact that I am familiar with this paper and I know how not bad, but how like if it is like this is not the paper for the sketchbooks for wet media. But I try anyway because I'm freaking crazy. Oh my god, this music reminds me. There will be theme stream this Thursday. Finally, I promise, I don't know, I had such a strange funk recently that I literally did not play The Sims since the last Sims stream. But let me tell you something. I managed to find a good design for a moss farm. And of the stream, I built this. I built the moss farm of the stream. It went okay. It produces moss. It haven't break. It have not been broken yet. Yes. This is how you speak English properly. No time to stretch. Yeah. I probably should. Right now I am so hunched over. Oh yeah, I just realized I probably would not be able to work on the next artwork because this one is wet. And I don't want to close the sketchbook because, well, the wet pigment will transfer there and I don't want that. So yeah. I will need to mix another like batch of Payne's Gray to darken the clothes. Because right now, when it comes to value, the clothes are slightly lighter or have the same value as the ground. And this was not a thing I had in mind. So I want the most saturated brown be down here and gray be here at the top. I will also need mix the skin tones. Yeah. Also, if you haven't looked at my blue sky, do this. Because I, well, first off, posted links to the newest update of the comic, and second off, I finished Megara doll. You know, she's here, but I'm not touching her because delicate right now, very delicate. But I am working on the next one, and I have also printed some helpful reference sheets for my next, after this, my next doll customizing project. This will be crazy, because it will require so much sculpting from your schooling. But I am up for it. You know what? I am up for it. What's the worst that could happen? Nothing? Absolutely nothing will happen if I will not succeed with this project. So yeah. Okay. Now what? Now skin tone. So let me get this color. For skin tone, I usually use like very light burnt sienna when I'm doing skin tone with watercolors. For Nest, I'm using this sienna mixed slightly with brown, because Nest has slightly darker skin tone than rest of the cast. And I wanted Yes, I purposefully left. Maybe I will just a little bit of tint. I usually, when there is an object behind glass, I usually keep the color like slightly lighter than what it would be without the glass. I don't know. This is like I think I like to do. Okay, more Payne's Gray. And when I mix Payne's Gray with brown, I get more of a more of a warmer gray slash like true black. Because Payne's Gray has some blue undertone and brown is dark orange pretty much. And blue and orange are complementary color. And when you mix two complementary color, you get what? Gray. This is exactly what happens on my palette. think I should finish painting. Not sure about gouache, but the paint layer I should finish within the time limit of the stream. Yeah, I will also come back to this picture tomorrow, see how it will look like after like fully drying. And I need to mix again a little bit of black. Okay, I know it's a muddy mess. I will give it some time for it to dry and then use wash. In order to try and fix it and put more life into it. Right now I need to let it dry. So yeah. I don't know what to do. I mean, I have a very like cheap Garfield ornament that I bought. It cost me like literally $1 with these horrible paints, but I will try to make it work. But paints are not the worst. This brush is, and everybody will say toss this brush right away, which I will freaking gladly do. And I will take a different brush to do this. The bad thing is that usually they will put grooves on the back and have you paint it in mirror view, so then you will have a very clean, nice like surface at the top. But no, they decided on the opposite, and I think many of these like child's ornaments, DIY ornaments, have this issue that the grooves are at the top, like you can see it like right now. At the smooth side, like it's smooth, but it's mirrored, so it's like useless. But I guess we can try to do this. Like I can pick, like I have water, I have these paints. I mean, I want to use a different set of paints for the jar itself, but yeah, I have nothing else. I have nothing else to do in here. Like everything else that I want to paint needs polishing, and I am not in a mood, or like there's not time for polish today, you know. So yeah, so I might start doing this. So let me put this aside. Let me get another brush. Oh no, this is one of the good ones. Can I have one of the bad ones? The like not the greatest ones. Like I have so many brushes, but I have brushes that I don't want to use right now. Oh, this is the brush that I was looking for. There you are, but you're still too thick. I might use dotting tools. I think dotting tool will be the best for this like smallest crevices. I am worried about this. So then, Garfield colors, self-explanatory, like fur, nose, muzzle, eyes. I want to use the same color to the inside of the daisies, the same yellow and white as the outside of the daisies, and as a complementary color I want to use cerulean blue. This is like Liquitex Basics acrylic paint, but pretty much exactly what is inside here. I mean, I don't claim that there are Liquitex Basic acrylic here, but some sort of like acrylic or poster paint is inside here. So yeah, so I want to do the jar with these paint, maybe the bottom rim. I will mix like some light blue for that, but I think it would look nicer if the jar was blue rather than any other color, because what other color do you expect me to paint the jar with? If these are daisies, then what other color? Like pink? Like, come on. So let's try this. So I will start with white. Okay. Good thing is that the paint has not dried yet. Bad thing is this paint is really thin, and for sure it will require a couple of things. And yeah, absolutely do not use these stupid brushes. These are the worst brushes ever made, ever. Like, they're like this. These have like these hard nylon bristles, and they freaking scratch. They will scratch your paper. They will not even pick up pigment. You know what they are good for? For texturing. When you're dealing with like when you're sculpting in clay and you need to dab some holes. This is what it's good at. For the purpose of a brush, no. So I think I will do this with dotting tool. The dotting tool that I have for years. It has not failed me. And I mean, if I put a couple of, you know, a couple of coats in here and actually have a fully coverage, this would be nice. And yes, I bought this like in Pepco. It was 5 zlotys, which is like roughly $1, $1. And I wanted to do this because it's been a while since I had anything Garfield related. Apart from a keychain, a Garfield keychain that I got from when I was like in Germany, the first time I was in Germany, in Berlin. Like, I got a Garfield keychain, and I still have it on my bag. Whoever met me and saw me on PyrCon can agree, can say that yep, she had a Garfield keychain on her bag. The only regret I have with Garfield is that, you know, Garfield has been, you know, it's been going for so long that you have like the strip that went exactly like on your birthday when you were born, like when Garfield was from 69, if I remember correctly. So since 69, am I right? I know it was June, somewhere in the 60s. Garfield first strip. When it was? No, 78. Oh my god, I was so off. I was thinking maybe 70s, but oh my god, I was so off. So freaking off. So yeah, so 78. So if you're a Gen X and later, you can have a Garfield strip like that came on your birthday. Isn't it crazy? Okay, now explain to me, how am I going to fill this crevice? I need to overfill it and wipe it with my finger, which is not the ideal thing. So yeah, so the only regret I have is that on my birthday strip, on 21st August 1993, the strip is not good. The strip was part of the longer like series of Garfield running away from the dog, and it was boring. Like, it was not fun. So yeah, so this is my only regret with Garfield. Other than that, like, I need a t-shirt with Garfield. Like, maybe not right away, but it would be nice if I would have a Garfield t-shirt. Because I had one when I was in high school and in middle school. It was one of my favorite t-shirts. And yes, I'm putting this with brush right now because I need like to get a big coverage. This is a big area to paint. But you see how tricky it is? Like you need to actually load up so much of the paint that it will level itself and be fully opaque. And you need like either like a bazillion of coats or just try and gloop it like I do this right now. And try to level it with the brush. Because the creators expected us to be like, la 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 la, okay, done. And to omit the streaks, like, no. We are going to the, on a higher level. I want to elevate this piece, okay? I know that this is like for children, for $1, to, hey, have this little Timmy, play with it. But Granny, I don't even like Garfield. And Timmy was, at this moment, Timmy knew he effed up. But yeah, but they expect, like, the kids to go with this crusty freaking sharp, crusty brush and to not like, and to not care about, aesthetics. And here I am 32 years old and I am doing this and nobody is stopping me. There is no freaking arts and crafts police right here telling me that this is something that I cannot do. Like, we can and we should expect better and try to do our best. And this is me doing my best. Stippling, terrible acrylic paint on a cheap acrylic plastic Garfield ornament that I will even not, turn into ornament. I plan to actually like cut this part and make it a standee. I think it will look better and work better as a standee. Ooh, imagine if these were actually some like good, like glass paints, and it will be like a catch light. Ooh. And I've seen sets like this like all the time. Like Christmas is coming, for sure there will be sets like with like owls and snowmen and Santas and reindeers and all the stuff for Christmas. So yeah, I actually need to clean the brush before it will solidify. And it's one of my favorite brushes, so you better freaking not die on me. I should play the Garfield comic making game again. Look, eyes are done. I think they will require one more coat, but other than that, they look nice. How is my picture? My picture has dried! Oh my god, yes. This paper like sucks pigment like crazy. Okay. Quick! Change of scenery! Going back. Ah. So now, it's whitewash and yeah, trying to remedy everything that happened here. Okay, let me pick a brush. Is this brush clean? I hope so. Yeah, it is clean. Okay. God damn it, the binder from the brush. Do I have, tell me that I have like a piece, one piece of paper towel. I don't. But I do have a piece of, okay, I need to drop, yeah, okay. There was some buildup of some binder that was like, you know, separating itself from the rest of the paint. So I had to squeeze a little bit out, a little bit. From there. And this is what I'm to do. Right now, where my attention is needed the most, here by the arm. By the lightest area, like skin tone. And I can use a little bit of water to make the gouache less opaque and blend it to the rest. And then I can even tint this gouache with more watercolor. It will slightly change the color of the watercolor, because the gouache has slightly different hue of white than the page, and therefore the colors will turn out a little bit different. But for example, let me get the Payne's gray right now and put it on. Just a little bit of what I had left over on my palette. Like, gouache is my freaking lifesaver. I used to be so embarrassed about using gouache to touch-ups. You know, as if oh, you're not really controlling your paint, or this is bad technique or something. And I know it's not the greatest technique, but hey, I am happy with the end results. People that look the art after photos and edits are also happy with the results. It looks the closest to my vision, so it should be okay. So yeah, this is why I always say worst case scenario, I will just whip out white gouache and touch up on everything. Bring back my sharp line art. I think I will salvage this picture. I think I will. Here I will put a little bit of glow effect, because yeah, of course, the little lantern needs to be, you know, lit for the deceased. And listen, with gouache, like they say, watercolors are not forgiving medium, but with gouache, it is forgiving. And this is the reason why I have this one big tube of white gouache. Even though I have like the other, like, even if I have white gouache, like, not white gouache, just a gouache like set of gouache paints. Even though I have the set, I still have just one big tube of white gouache because I know I'm shredding through it. For a moment I thought I saw something with the corner of my eye on my dashboard. You know, OBS, but nothing seems suspicious. Okay, I think I will be able to save this piece. It will require patience and lots of white gouache, but I will do this. Okay. I'm looking at the time. Yeah, so I'm letting it dry. I think tomorrow I will put on another. I will see how it will dry, and because I see that that in some places where the bleeding was really bad, there is a slight, very blue tint. I think I will be able to remedy that and slightly help. Help with that. Yeah, I think it will. I will save it. I think I will be able to save it. And I will also use wash to just even the color, make the color even for the background. This is also sometimes something that I sometimes use when I'm not happy with how dark the color is. And I will try to do this like here for the background, especially for this, because right now Eddie's hair were too close in shade to the bottom, and I need to be I need these values to be a little bit more separated. So yeah, but this is something for the Nina in the future to deal with. I think right now I will finish the stream here. Yeah, I will finish the stream here, leave the wrappers. My curtains just accidentally fell into Garfield's eye. so I need to fix it right now before it dries completely. But yeah. But this is all I have prepared and all I have the time for this stream. So yeah. So thank you all so much for watching, chatting, lurking, and spending some time with me. Next stream on Thursday, I will be playing The Sims 2 in my Rainbow Legacy household. So we are back with... I want to say we're back with Coral, but I don't remember if Coral is still alive. I think Coral might be alive, but not for too long. So with Coral, Komei, Citrine, Ian, and Emerald. Emerald might be going to the college, so yay, fun! We might be speedrunning college for her though. So yeah, so thank you all so much for coming. Yeah. So stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and I will see you all next stream. So goodbye!